3.
I hear sirens, I smell fire in the air. Well, remember tonight, I'll meet you there. For too long to remember, I've waited for it all to change. Starting tonight, things will never be the same. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. I hear the wall coming down in the cheer of the crowd. I see the dust touch the sky in a billowing cloud. For too long to remember, I felt you here next to me. Starting tonight, we're finally free. Meet me there someday. Meet me there someday. Meet me there someday. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. I hear whispers of revolution in the air. Well, remember tonight, I'll meet you there. Meet me there someday. Meet me there someday. Meet me there someday. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there.
Well, thank you, Todd. Hello and welcome, everybody. It's Sunday right around 3 p.m. Central. We were going to do Cover Me episode 2, but instead, I don't know, Todd, Erica, Diane, I think we took a cue from the world and it just felt wrong somehow.
Didn't feel right to do a nice little lighthearted show right now.
It's a tough day in America.
Yeah.
Diane, how you doing?
Yeah, it's great to be here with you all. Thank you for sharing space with me today. That was beautiful, Todd.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do is kind of our own virtual protest concert. Eric and I did 4 protests concerts last year. And boy, the combination of COVID and rioting is nothing I could have ever predicted even weeks ago, right?
And we want you to know that if you're out there protesting, we see you, we hear you, and we stand with you.
We've got our Black Lives Matter donation link just to the bottom of the screen. We're going to keep that up. You can go to that website and you can get involved. And later in the program, later in the hour, we're going to go back to Diane, and she's going to tell us about maybe some other resources that we can all. I feel helpless.
And I want to be an ally.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here. This is all we know how to do, right? So, just from my perspective, giving anything we can do to shine a light on a problem or solution, having all these proceeds that we're going to hopefully make today go to Black Lives Matter feels in some ways inappropriate because that's not our experience, but at the same time, just it's the only thing we can do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I was saying to you guys before we came on, it's weird in COVID not to be a doctor or a nurse. You can't we can't be the hero. I'm a musician. That's what I've spent all that time learning about how to play the guitar. I should have done something else. It feels like,
But art can heal.
it can heal. It doesn't feel like it at moments. So we're gonna sing a song. Then Todd, that was beautiful. I love that song.
you.
We're gonna do a tune now, Erica and I. That just I think says where we see you all.
We're on one side of the mountain. You may be on the same side or a different side, but we hear your voice.
1, 2. I hear a voice in the distance, faint but true. Little reverb. I hear a voice, unmistakably it's you. I hear a voice, trapped and alone, but we'll take you home. She sang every day, all her life. Loved the sound of her voice bouncing off the mountain range down into the valleys. So she stayed every day, far too late, until the darkness closed and forced him into searching for her by the sound she made. I hear a voice in the distance, faint but true. I hear a voice, unmistakably it's you. Yes, it's you. I hear a voice, so pure and free. Are you singing to me? Silence is spread from his heart to his head till all hope is lost, the music gone, he is barely breathing. Why must she stay through the day? He thought that listen close with all his mind. For any song she sang, I hear a voice in the distance, faint but true. Yes, it's true. I hear a voice, unmistakably it's you. I hear a voice, trapped and alone, that will take you home. Faint but true. I hear a voice, unmistakably it's you. Yes, it's you. I hear a voice, so pure and free. Are you singing to me?
That was incredible.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Todd.
That was so good.
Wait a second. I messed up the shot, but now I'm back in the shot I wanted. We're here. We're supporting Black Lives Matter, but you know what? We are supporting all of us here together. You know, I like to use this phrase in the music industry when talking to other musicians that a rising tide it raises all ships. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
thought you were going to say a raising Todd, and then it got confused.
that was
in my
super
brain.
elegant of me, but my point remains salient, which is we are all on this globe together.
And we share,
Everything.
this whole community is ours as a group.
And I think that's what that song means to us, especially in this context, is we hear you and we see you.
And I
we're,
think-
we're in this together.
Todd, I think you'd agree that Meet Me There Someday is a lot about that too.
You know that song was written. You know, as we were talking before the show, that song originally was called "Meet Me on May Day," and I wrote that no surprise, on May Day, May 1st, 2011, and this was in the midst of other protests that were happening around the world. It was inspired specifically by the protests of the Arab Spring, which I'm not sure were happening right at that exact time, but it was a kind of a culmination of things.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wrote it from the perspective of two kind of lovers who had lost each other amongst the craziness of a protest, who were trying to find each other. But it really is, you know, meet me there someday. It is not just a song about two people looking for each other. It is, it's about seeing each other and breaking down barriers.
Yeah.
What I've been saying recently in shows is that this song is about tearing down walls instead of building them up. That's kind of like the really short way to say it.
Yeah.
And the next song I'm going to do is, you know, these all have a through line, right? We're doing this for a reason today. And this song was inspired last year during, or maybe it was 2 years ago now, who the hell knows, during the NFL controversy with Colin Kaepernick and the kneeling. and
How
all this
related
stuff.
is that feel
Unbelievable.
today? If
It's
that feels
crazy.
so related right now.
And the fact that we were speaking about this earlier, but the NFL put out a statement yesterday or the day before, and it just feels so tone deaf. It's
Yeah.
like okay, so now you're on the bandwagon.
Too little, too late,
Too
guys.
little, too late. Like, you know. So this song was written in that time, and it was a reaction to the rhetoric. It was a reaction to the divisiveness, and it was a hopeful call. I was using some inspiration from my faith and from past civil rights leaders in my faith, but of also in the greater community. And so yeah, the song's called "A Long Road to Walk," and just one of the words in it. Actually, I'm gonna say the chorus for you all because I want you all to hear it. We just need a little light to shine on. We'll keep praying with our feet and singing your songs. It's no use to cover our scars. It's a long road to walk, no matter how far. So we don't want to turn away from our past, but we need to accept it and move on, and just, you know, just understand what is plainly to see in front of us. So
Yeah, I love this song.
You know.
This is great.
thank you. Oh, we gotta find that spark buried in the darkness. Just open our hearts, confess. Can you hear amazing grace pouring out of the pews? Oh God, what can we do to find peace? We just need a little light to shine on. We'll keep on praying with our feet and sing your song. It's no use to try and cover up our scars. It's a long road to walk, no matter how far. It's a long road to walk, no matter how far. With all that can divide us, let it bring us back to justice. Or else we confuse what's weak for toughness. Can you hear hallelujah coming from the gate? Oh Lord, are we too late to find peace? We just need a little light to shine on. We'll keep on praying with our feet
shine on. Keep on praying with our feet, sing your song. It's no use to try and cover up our scar. It's a long road to walk, no matter how far. It's a long road to walk, no matter how far.
Oh, that's a great one.
Thanks, guys.
I love that.
That is a
one.
great one. I love that song.
I've sung
you.
that one with you before, Tom.
Yeah, we did it at the Hideout for the
Oh.
Marie Newman event.
It's a great line and a true line. It's a long road to walk.
no matter how far.
Yeah. The other day, Todd, other night, 2 nights ago, I just could not sleep. It was just the beginning of sort of I think George Floyd had just happened.
Mhm.
And
It still just happened.
I know it's crazy. And COVID was 10 weeks, 11 weeks in. It's hard to sleep. And I bug-a-lug Erica at night sometimes when I'm like 2 a.m. and I'm waking her up thinking, can you listen to this? Is this anything? Or sometimes I'm being like, did I just cut? I actually did write a song the other day and it was a Katy Perry song. And I was like, damn it. When you're making sure that's not what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, I woke her up and I made her listen to it. And actually by the time I was done with the first revision, she was like, I can hear this tomorrow, Josh. Enough is enough. So this is a brand new song. It's called Masks. Let's see what we could do here. I hope I remember it. How will you know when you have won? When your justice comes at the barrel of a gun? Can you be honest with yourself? When you're hiding behind all that wealth, and we all wear our masks, it's true. I lost something I held dear amid the fighting and all this fear. It's easy come now, easy go. Let's pretend that's true and they'll never know. And we all wear our masks, I've found. When conditions on the ground force us to react, rebound, we all wear our masks around. Help me, mama, I can't breathe. They've got me cuffed here on my knees. Got nowhere left to run. And I'm trapped here still at the barrel of a gun. We all wear our masks, I'm sure. Kick right in that bolted door. Gather all our bodies on the floor. And we all wear our masks and endure. We all wear our And we all wear our masks, I hope. And we all wear our masks.
Wow.
Oh, that's brand new.
That was powerful.
You know, We do. And we're gonna for a while. But I think we're gonna get through this together somehow with art and with doctors.
I know I'm struggling. If you've been crying at all in the last couple days, you're not alone.
It's a struggle right now. So we're actually going to go back to you, Diane. We'd love, we have this donation link on the bottom of the screen, which is definitely something you could do. But if you're anything like a musician, that might not be a possibility for you. So Diane,
Give us some actions that we can take.
what else can we do just besides donating?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Josh and Erica. That was beautiful. And thanks to you folks who are being active in the comments. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. It's a confusing time, and there are so many resources out there that sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm going to throw some in the comments for people. There are a few great petitions going around. There are also some fundraisers for different things. I know we don't all have the funds necessarily to give at this moment. The Minnesota Freedom Fund, which was organizing money for protesters there for their bail money, has actually been inundated, which is great news.
That is great news. We just lost Diane.
Inundated want to give. Yeah.
Say that one more time, Diane. Say it one more time.
Oh, did I freeze?
Just for a second.
The Minnesota Freedom Fund was inundated with donations, and so has suggested some other organizations that we can give to in this moment. And if you also going to throw out some petitions that you can sign and share with your networks, and also how to find your local Black Lives Matter chapter, or information about starting your own if you live in an area that doesn't have a Black Lives Matter.
Great.
So you'll put those in the comments, so it'll be real easy to just click on through.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So just check out the comments. We can all do our part. This just crazy time. Hey, Todd.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was saying before, obviously, I'm not a doctor, I'm a musician. The other piece that's sort of weird for me here, because obviously, just for me personally, obviously I think we're, at the precipice of major transition. Mm-hmm. And, we're three kids. We all grew up in the suburbs. We just have incredible privilege of being white. I mean, I'm a white man. I feel like the world sort of opens itself up for me. Mm-hmm. But all three of us, we're coming from a lot of privilege, so it's a weird thing. I want to somehow humble myself to that. I don't totally know how to do that.
It's like it feels like it's in some ways whatever we do is in some ways not enough, and in some ways
like too much almost just like
too much. Like are we imposing? Like I don't want to impose, but
right.
At the same time, like I don't want to be silent. At the same time, I feel paralyzed. What can I do?
Yeah, and I do know, Todd, personally, I know I've been reaching out to Black friends and people of color and saying, what can I do? What do I do? And they mostly are saying back to me like, do anything. Mm-hmm. You're not imposing. Right. Which is hard to remember, but we're not imposing.
And we need to be consistent. We need to not just be outraged in the moment. And it does feel different this time. And I'm hoping that this is not just another news cycle, because that would be a true tragedy.
I think we're past the point of this being a news cycle. What I think it's been a convergence of events that has obviously led to this, and it'd be ignorant to say it started a year ago.
It's not in a vacuum.
This is a systemic. This is I've seen this one quote going around where the system's not broken. This is how it was built.
Yeah.
And
it's working. Maybe it's working perfectly.
Right. I mean, recognizing that as a white person who does have inherent privilege. Recognizing that is definitely the first step. Understanding and knowing what to do can be a scary thing, but just like as simple as just reaching out to your friends of color
and being willing to hear when you've done something that's hurtful.
That's not, and it's okay. We can all get better. Todd, did it start a year ago, 10 years ago? I've seen some kind of dark MLK, Martin Luther King being referenced in various ways, and I sort of just wanted to say Martin Luther King did do a ton of nonviolent protesting, and he also was assassinated, shot.
Right.
I mean, it's
violence is in the story.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I think the narrative of violence is being brought by one party of this situation is insanity.
Oh my God.
It's not supported by
real.
facts.
Yeah. So what do you have next for us, Todd?
I'm gonna play a song from my 2012 album Sea Fever. You know, I've been writing protest songs for almost as long as I've been writing music, and this song was born out of a protest, not necessarily a single protest, but an incident that happened, I think in 2010 back in the Netherlands, and I studied abroad in Amsterdam, so I feel a connection to Amsterdam and the Netherlands. You know, have been back many times to visit, and so it's just a place for me that I love. And one of the reasons I fell in love with it so much is the culture there traditionally is very very accepting of outsiders. However, that's not to say there is not still segregation.
Sure.
Excuse me. And so I think it was 2010, a filmmaker named Theo van Gogh, who is a distant relative of Vincent van Gogh.
Ooh.
Wow.
He's a filmmaker, and he had a very controversial film where there was I can't remember exact story, but there was maybe a depiction of Allah or something. There was a storyline in there, and I could be getting this all wrong. Nonetheless, he was assassinated in broad daylight in Amsterdam, and so just the idea of this, on the surface, idyllic place that on the outside is painted as welcoming to outsiders, but then knowing that under the surface there is this bubbling segregation and inequality in that culture.
I think that's so analogous to what's happening.
Yeah, it's not just there. I mean, that is kind of, I think, what's bubbling up right now here, right? So this song is called "The Prospect of Protest," and the idea was that. I mean, you'll make your own assumptions, but the idea was that protests just don't erupt out of nowhere. They come, they come from something that's bubbling under. And you know, this last incident with George Floyd was the powder keg that started it, and started at this time. But this is not an isolated incident,
And it's not about just George
Of course
Floyd.
not. Of course
this
not.
is happening for a
Right,
reason.
exactly.
Yeah.
So-
MLK said that protests are the language of the unheard,
Yeah.
and that is very applicable here.
Yeah.
So what's this
Absolutely.
one called again, Todd?
It's called Prospect of Protest.
Prospect of Protest. Cool.
The view of the church on the west side of the city. The quiet I haven't heard the same time last year. And the prospect of protest is ever closer here. People, listen to yourself. Broken records just sit collecting dust upon the shelf. And the prospect of protest here is most felt. Stand up for what you know, to be real. Stand up and say exactly what you feel. Stand up for what you know, to be right. Stand up and use your voice to fight this fight. Because the prospect of protest isn't just black and white. People, listen to ourselves. Broken records just sit collecting dust upon the shows, and the prospect of protest here is most felt. Stand up for what you love, to be real. Stand up and say exactly what you feel. Stand up for what you love, to be right. Stand up and use your voice to fight this fight. Because the prospect of protest is never just black and white. Dust the groove, put the needle down, hear the voices rise from the underground. Dust the groove, put the needle down, hear the voices rise from the underground. You can feel it if you hear it, just put your ear next to the ground.
Well, that's the Prospect of Protest by Todd Kessler.
Thanks.
I just forgot the first lyric. Okay. I heard freedom ring on a Wednesday night like a broken clock that was wound too tight, and now I can't keep the time. And the overtones sounded in my ear. I was inspired by passion, but I froze with fear. For freedom's ring, it comes at what cost? Whoa, I'll wait for daylight. Whoa, wait right here. Hell no, I can't wait for daylight, 'cause by then night's gone. All that's left is wreckage by the dawn. Carefully we'll pack our hope away for another day. Ooh, another day. I know all is fair in love and war, but I ain't no soldier, and the mayor next door must watch as they take his house away. There must be an answer in some distant land. There must be a question I don't understand, else why would things turn out this way? Whoa, I'll wait for daylight. Whoa, wait right here. Hell no, I can't wait for daylight, 'cause by then night's gone. All that's left is wreckage by the dawn. Carefully we'll pack our hope away for another day. Ooh, another day. Come on. We can solve the problems, we can right the wrongs, we can keep the world here of answers, I'll push them on along. We can shape the future, we can hold the key to the door of ancient human hope, where everybody's free. Oh, I'll wait for daylight. Oh, wait right here. Hell no, I can't wait for daylight, 'cause by then night's gone. All that's left is wreckage by the dawn. Carefully we'll pack our hope away for another day. another day, another day. Ooh. Whoa. Oh, that's another good one you played there, Todd. That's from us. That's Daylight from our.
Those lyrics are so fucking good. Oh shit!
Thanks.
No, we're good. We
didn't mean
don't.
to
There's
cut.
no.
We're cool.
We have no rules. We're not on TV, my friend. We're on the internet.
But that line, inspired with passion but frozen in fear. Was that it?
Yeah. So this is it's a similar story to yours, man.
It's very similar.
I'm watching an Obama speech on some Wednesday night. Like, remember when Barack Obama was president? That was awesome.
I might start crying if you keep talking.
I know.
And he was so inspiring speaking. Do you remember that? Like, people spoke and you cried. It was so inspiring.
Yeah.
I heard Freedom Wing on a Wednesday night, but even though Barack Obama was president, it still felt broken, like a broken clock that was wound too tight. Yeah, that's that.
I mean, look, this should happen with Obama as president too. But
Right.
I miss having a leader that I respect.
Yeah.
That I trust.
Or someone that, is looking at this situation
With other people in mind, you mean?
with with humanity
basic
in
human
mind.
empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just basic human empathy. We're taking donations for Black Lives Matter. It's just below. I think it's a very worthy cause. I think it's a pretty easy thing to get on board with. Black lives, in fact, do matter. I'd prefer not to argue about it.
I also prefer not to argue about it.
And if someone says, "But all lives matter,"
You don't
need
get
to
it.
give them a lesson.
You don't get it.
You're missing a piece
You're
of
missing
the
the point.
puzzle.
Right.
Obviously, all lives matter. That's part of that's
That's the-
implied. That's
right,
baked
exactly.
into Black
We need
Lives
to
Matter.
re-enfranchise the people that have been
If-
disenfranchised by our system.
And I know it's hard to change minds, but if you are somebody thinking that, I might suggest you just to add in your head an invisible TOO to the end of the hashtag or the phrase.
Right.
Because all it means is Black Lives Matter too.
Yes. And we shouldn't have to say it, but we do.
A rising tide raises all ships, as in your success does not mean that I can't have success now. Your victory doesn't mean my failure.
Yeah.
And all humans deserve basic respect, and we're going to start demanding that.
We're going to demand it, and we're going to demand it our own way with songs. Not the strongest demand. I hope there are stronger demands made.
But we need to make the demands all the time
do.
and
Yeah.
across the board, and we need to be there for our friends and the people that are around us.
And I know I'm not going to stop writing about it, and I hope you don't stop writing about it, Todd. These songs are great.
I mean, look, when you're a songwriter, sometimes you sit down to write a song because no one else is home and you should be doing something.
Sure.
And sometimes you sit down to write a song because you're just so overwhelmed with inspiration, good or bad. And if you are not inspired for good or for bad from what's happening around you, especially in these circumstances, what are you writing about?
Well, and I just don't. If that's true, then you're not processing.
Your heart is
which I
hurting.
can understand. It's
And maybe some people don't want to go there, and
it's a lot of
that's-
energy.
It is, and it when you sit down to write a song, there's always a self-imposed pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But when you sit down and you write a song, if about something like this or in protest, and you know you're going to share it, there's an extra pressure because it means so much more to you.
Yeah.
And you want it
Absolutely.
to mean something to people. You don't want to. You're not just writing a song in vain because, like, as an opportunistic situation, you're writing a song because you feel very compelled and you don't know what else to do. And so,
And we're putting ourselves in other people's shoes.
exactly. And I try to live my life with that in mind, with that level of integrity. And I'm sure I fail many times, but in my songwriting, I really try to focus on truth and justice and just writing with morality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a perspective
What-
on what the
yeah.
world should look like.
Yeah.
What's your final song you're going to share with us
So
today, Todd?
let me just make sure it's in tune.
Sure.
It's
It is not.
I went ahead and detuned the whole guitar and then put a capo on. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
get.
Smart,
That's a fun-
smart.
So
fun game.
this song is, and my apologies for not looking at the camera while I speak. This song is called "There's a Fire," and this was written
How appropriately titled, my
I know.
goodness.
I know. It's almost like laughable. But this was written, I don't remember what year it was. Maybe it's 2012. But there was this weird convergence of events. In the States, it was a summertime, and there were these, like, they were calling them flash mobs, but not in like the fun dancey way.
Right.
There were these flash mobs, they were calling them, of like young people. It happened in downtown Chicago. It was happening in Philadelphia.
I remember this.
I think maybe it was happening in London too. There was something also happening in London, England, and there were riots, there were fires, there was looting. Again, this has happened many times since then, so it's hard to remember the exact situation.
God, that's
However,
sad.
this was a reaction to that situation, and it's very. I hate to say that it's very appropriate now, but it is. You know, I say in the song, a change was going to come. We knew this much was foretold, but how many times do we need to hear before we finally see it clear?
A lot more times, because it's been
lot.
8
I know.
years since you wrote
I know,
that.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
8 years later, and it's the
Insane.
exact
I know.
same.
Still
We're not
here.
changing.
So it's almost like, wait, why are we doing this? But at the same time, we need to be doing this.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It just is.
So
this
what's
is-
it's called again?
it's
Give me
called
one more time.
There's a Fire.
There's a fire. Awesome.
All right. There's a fire burning in London. It's got a hold on me. I'm on the brink, I'm not lying. The mirror shows me I don't wanna see. Sound the alarm, turn the key. Philadelphia, can you hear me? It's getting closer, I can feel the heat. Smoke gets thicker with each passing week. There's a fire burning. There's a fire burning. There's a fire burning in our heart. It's tearing us apart. London is burning down, down. The streets are filled with crowds. Oh, how I am falling apart. It's breaking my heart to see it, to see it, to see it happen this way. The change was gonna come. We knew this much was foretold. How many times do we need to hear before we finally see it, finally see it, finally see it clear? There's a fire burning. There's a fire burning. There's a fire burning. There's a fire burning. There's a fire burning in our heart. It's tearing us apart. It's tearing us apart. It's tearing us apart. There's a fire burning in London.
got a hold on me.
Thank you, guys.
Beautiful.
Well, this is was gonna be Cover Me episode 2. We sort of pivoted. It's been a very strange weekend. Simon Kirk is gonna join us. Todd, he promised me.
Good things.
Simon called and we talked and we just decided it's just a kind of a weird day to do something unrelated. So he promised to be funnier than he was going to be.
And he's pretty
And
funny.
he's pretty funny standard.
to begin with.
And then he said he would do an extra song.
Cool.
So we'll do that. We'll get that scheduled for everybody. It's going to be a free show, hosted, of course, by Erica and Todd and I, called Cover Me, where we learned a couple of Simon's tunes. He's a great songwriter, and we were going to play some covers, and Simon was going to play a cover in one of his originals. But look out for that to be postponed. We're going to hear last words from all of us, from Diane and you. But before we do that, I just wanted to reiterate, I know everyone's frustrated. Everybody's frustrated. I don't even care what side you're on, though I think that's the wrong way to think of it.
Agreed.
I want to reiterate, we are raising money for Black Lives Matter. And if that bothers you, I really would encourage you to put an also or a to in your imagination at the end of it. Black Lives Matter also. They do. And if they don't, I don't understand the world.
It should be enough at Black Lives Matter, period, but yes.
If
you're
it bothers you, and I'm sorry, and if you can't get over that and you can't be a fan of somebody's music or something, what are you going to do? You know, like, we don't wade into this very often.
But we believe in love, and we believe in connection, and we believe in treating humans with equality and justice
You know,
and respect.
I said to Diane and Erica and Todd before we went on the air, we don't do this. We don't get political in our band, and it's this guy makes people mad. And I texted that to my dad, and usually my dad would be like, "Don't do it then," and my dad was like, "You got to do it."
Yeah.
Um,
And I just want to really quick just say thank you both. I follow the Twitter, follow the Facebook of the Empty Pockets. I just want to thank you both for using the platform that you have, because it is pretty sizable for
Same to you.
for the pursuit of justice and for putting yourselves out there like that, because it's a good thing.
It's important that we come together,
Yeah.
and this message is strong and constant.
yeah, we don't do it often, but sometimes it's necessary. Let's hear some last words. Diane, you have the floor. Let's hear some last words from you, Diane. Thanks for sharing your resources earlier. She froze.
Oh, she froze.
Oh, she froze at the perfect spot. That's all right. Diane was going to say something
No, there she's
brilliant.
back. She's back.
It's all right, Diane. We can't all have good Wi-Fi all the time.
Tell us, Diane.
We're just doing last words if you got something.
Oh, yeah, sorry about the connection troubles. I just wanted to say, white supremacy doesn't only exist in violence.
so true.
Oh, my God.
So true.
It's baked into our system.
What a great... Todd, I know you just...
Small.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, guys. My editing is kidding. I'm better a musician than editor. Thank you so much for joining us, Diane. I'm sorry about the Wi-Fi. It happens. It happens. Todd, thank you so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate you sharing your talents.
Thank you for allowing me in your studio. I just want to say, Josh came in here. We're in separate rooms. He came in yesterday and set up with a mask on for my
Masked.
request. So thank you very much. Let's not forget, we are still in the midst of a global pandemic, and we are trying to be smart. And so, yeah. So thank you for having me. And I'm so glad this idea has we kind of had it separately and then together, and so I'm really excited that we're keeping it going. So
Yeah, this idea has legs. We're going to do this
Yeah,
for a
for sure.
long, long,
We
long
are.
time.
We're going to keep doing Cover Me. Like I said, look out for that announcement.
and one day maybe live and in person.
Oh,
that would be
wouldn't that be great?
It's basically the combination of your Hey Nani show and this virtual show.
Yes.
Todd
Oh my
already is
God.
doing a show, or was. I think you are.
No, we are still doing it, and
Good.
if I could just plug it really,
Yep,
really
go ahead.
quick.
You should.
This Tuesday, this is in a couple days, we're going to do our first live stream version of Todd Kessler
Oh, good
Presents
for you.
Songwriters in the Round.
Good for you.
So the 4 songwriters, we're going to be on Zoom, and then we're sharing right to the Hey Nani Facebook page. It is all donation-based, obviously. It's been a struggle trying to figure out how to keep it going, but myself and the venue really both wanted to keep it going. And
Yeah.
so there was talk about doing it in the venue, but there was too many unknowns. And so maybe next month, maybe August. We're not really sure when we're going to be back in the venue. However, we are going to be virtual. So that is that's this Tuesday at 7:30.
Tuesday. That's awesome. Thank you so much,
I'm
Todd.
excited that that's still happening.
And then we do have a plug as well. Saturday night, 6 p.m. Wonderstuck we were going to be playing our biggest.
Oh yeah, that's so exciting.
Yeah, we were going to be playing our biggest festival ever. Walk the Moon, Third Eye Blind, Brittany Howard, Trombone
so
Shorty.
good.
It's canceled, obviously. So we're doing a ticketed concert Saturday night. It's $15.
Josh and I will be here, but we're going to stand, so it's a big deal.
It's a big difference. And other differences, too. It's going to be fabulous. We're doing a 90-minute set. I'm very excited about it. Thank you all for listening. I love all of you out there. Even if we don't disagree, you and me, and we just disagree, Dave Mason might say. Stay safe if you're protesting.
Please
Oh, take care of yourselves. We do love you.
stay strong. If you're out there on the street, stay strong. If you're in your house, you're frustrated, stay strong. We love
Wear
you.
their mask. Wear your masks. Thanks again, y'all.
Now I know what it means to be a man is just a notion. I've walked the roads, I've been blown by the wind across the ocean. Now I find the path that lies before me is of my choosing. It's by design, it's by design to break through the resistance and the bruising. When all life's problems come knocking at my door, and you think I'm too weak to handle anymore, you can watch me get up off the floor, yeah. I just keep rolling on, I am strong. Now I know what it means to be a person in survival. I've walked the roads, I've walked the roads. Yes, I've discovered self again in this revival. Now I find my destiny is tied to yours forever. It's by design, it's by design. Oh, I will follow you my days ending never. When all life's problems come knocking at my door, and you think I'm too weak to handle anymore, you can watch me get up off the floor, yeah. I just keep rolling on, I am strong. You ready? Let's go. When all life's problems come knocking at my door, and you think that I'm too weak to handle anymore, you can watch me get up off the floor, yeah. I just keep rolling on. When all life's problems come knocking at my door, and you think I'm too weak to handle anymore, you can watch me get up off the floor, yeah. I just keep rolling on. I just keep rolling on. I just keep rolling on. I am strong. Hey, thanks again for listening, everybody. Take care of each other out there. Donate to blacklivesmatter.com.
Good.